Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. This is our take. We are your hosts. I'm Ocean.
I'm Taylor.
And ladies and gentlemen, we got a fun one for you guys today. We are going to be giving you guys our take on Sony Pictures and Columbia Studios' newest release film that came out on September 1st, the final chapter in the saga of The Equalizer. Ladies and gentlemen, this is The Equalizer 3. Real quick, Taylor, give us a rundown of who's in this movie.
Of course, the star himself, Denzel Washington, plays Robert McCall, 2 C's, 2 L's. And then we have Dakota Fanning playing Emma Collins, a CIA agent. Eugenio Mastrandrea, his character is Gio Bonucci. He's a local cop. David Denman, who plays Frank Conroy, another CIA agent's partner. Gaia Scodelario, who plays Amina. Remo Giron, who plays Enzo Ricio. The main villain is played by Andreas Scarduzio, who's Vincent Caranta, and then the brother of him is played by Andrea Dodero, as Marco Caranta.
I should cast this, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to do this in traditional fashion as always. Talk about it spoiler free real quick so you guys have an idea of whether or not you want to go see this movie. And then we will give you the score, and then we'll dive into spoilers. Talk about it. So, Taylor, spoiler free, what did you think of the final chapter of The Equalizer?
I'm going to try to keep it pretty brief. I thought the movie was good. I liked it. I thought it was like good enough end for The Equalizer. And I mean, it gave me what I wanted.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's not much.
Yeah.
Not much else.
I actually really enjoyed the movie. I had a great time in the theater, and I think this is like the perfect way to do this kind of movie. Like this final chapter of a franchise that is beloved primarily because of the main actor, but the main actor is also getting older and can't physically do the things that he used to be able to do. So I really like the way that they did this. I really enjoyed the movie. And I have a lot of good things to say about it. So yeah, let's roll right into scores then. As far as the score goes for Equalizer 3, I think I'm at an 8. It didn't blow my socks off, a crazy, insane movie that whatever, but I really enjoyed the movie and I would watch it again, down the line somewhere.
Yeah.
So I think I'm at an 8.
Yeah. I think I'll probably give this a 7. It's a good movie. Enjoyed it. As I will say, at least off the top of my head, I don't think there's another franchise that has finished on a good way like this has.
Yeah. Where it didn't seem like one too many movies or
just disappointing.
Yeah, or a disappointing end or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Big question for you guys, that are watching this before you go see the movie. Should we see this in the theaters, Taylor?
I mean, if you're a moviegoer, I do think this is worth watching in the theaters. I don't know if I would go out of my way to watch this, but it is a good movie.
Okay.
It's just not that exciting to me, but yeah.
I was pleasantly surprised by the movie. So I would say that this is looking at what else is in the theaters right now, I would say that this is probably my number one option to go watch in the theaters. because by now you guys are probably seeing all of the big stuff like Oppenheimer and Barbie and all that stuff. So yeah, I would say go give it a watch. Definitely don't take young kids to this though, because it's pretty graphic. It
Yeah,
is rated R, and it keeps in line with what the Equalizer was before, where
yeah,
it's
it's violent.
bloody, violent, not shy about the injuries that are sustained and the methods of dealing death that Robert McCall uses. So just keep that in mind when you're deciding on who to take with you to the theater. But yeah, I'd say go give it a watch. But if you miss this one and you end up watching it on the streaming service later on, I think it'll still be just as good.
Yeah,
When
that's
you
why I
watch it
said
then.
like I don't
Yeah.
think it's necessarily worth rushing out to see.
Right.
It's definitely worth a watch. Um, definitely if it's on stream once it hits streaming. If you
Yeah.
chose not to go to the theater, watch it as soon as it
Yeah.
comes out on streaming.
I agree. All right. Well, got our scores, got our opinions, ladies and gentlemen. Let's roll into the spoilers so we can have some fun. This is gonna serve as your official.
Spoiler alert.
All right. Denzel, man. He's just it's just hard. Like he's just so amazing. Like I don't know that he's ever had a bad performance in a movie.
I mean, it's Denzel.
Yeah. Like he does such a good job of the finer nuances of characters and like so Robert McCall is the CIA ex CIA operative that just has this inability to stand by or to stand or to watch like bad things happen and not do something about it. Like he talks about like he can't stand not doing something about a situation if he has the ability to, you know. And but there's also these finer nuances of the character that kind of give depth to the reason why he's like that. Like it's clear that he has like OCD or something like
Yeah.
that, you know? Like he when he sits down for tea and stuff, he has to open up the napkin and he has to rotate it like 3 times before he opens it
He
up
likes
and puts it down.
he likes the creases and all
Yeah.
that.
And then he has his own spoon that he takes with him everywhere. And that's what he uses. And then like even you see him like during the conversations that he would have with people during these scenes, you just see all these like hand movements of him adjusting stuff and like and making it how he needs it or whatever. But those like finer details to me are so powerful in giving depth to this character because it would have been so easy for him to just you know when he is talking to the CIA chick whatever Collins her name is for him to just like turn and look at her and talk to her which is what you would expect from a normal conversation but he's not a normal guy
Yeah.
and it's just really
He's the most interesting man in the world.
yeah it's just really cool to see that Denzel is still capable of putting on that show. Conversely to that, however, or not however, but like I was talking about in the spoiler free content, I think this is a really good way of doing another movie in a franchise where the star actor is older and not able to do the things that he was able to do before, right? Like the fighting scenes that we'd see are very kind of toned down from the earlier equalizers, I would say. Like the first equalizer, there was a lot of fighting and a lot of like
Yeah, I mean,
elaborate hand to
honestly,
hand.
they're not really fighting scenes in
Right.
this. They're just like assassinations or
True.
like ambushes. It's less movement
Right.
required.
Right. And it just
And and even when there is movement where he like kind of like does like a little bit of a flashback sort of, it's first person, so you don't see who's actually
Yeah.
doing it. And they kind of like purposely avoid having shots where you would have to see him doing
something
some kind of
yeah.
action,
Which is great because
aside from just using arms.
right. It's great because it doesn't break my immersion because I'm watching Denzel do like a roundhouse kick to the face or something, and I'm like, I don't think he can do that anymore because he's like 70 something years old, or I don't know how old he is, but he's up there. So I really enjoyed that aspect, and I think that was ultimately like my biggest worry when we were doing the trailer reaction and stuff. I was worried that they were going to try and turn this into like a Samaritan or an Indiana Jones or I didn't watch Mission Impossible yet, but like stuff like that where they're just not able to do what they were.
Trust me, Tom Cruise is definitely capable of doing
right,
it.
I'll take that back because I haven't seen it yet. So
he is by far the best fucking actor.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to the action stunts. He definitely wins. But Tom Cruise, look, he's an alien, bro. So he doesn't really count.
That is true.
You picked the worst person.
I'll take back the Mission Impossible statement.
Okay.
I'll take like Samaritan, like all that stuff, or even Expendables 4 that's coming out. All those guys, like.
Well, some of them are okay, but.
Well, you know, Dolph Lundgren and
Jason Statham will be fine, but yeah, some of them are definitely gonna be rough.
It's gonna be rough to watch.
We'll see.
Yeah. So I really enjoyed that about this movie, though. It just felt believable. I felt like I was watching a old retired operative utilize his experience and his surroundings to gain the advantage on people that are idiots, essentially.
Yeah.
So, and I ultimately, that was like the overarching theme for me of the movie that made me really enjoy the movie, was just this whole idea that there's always a bigger fish out there, right? There's always somebody bigger and better than you. And this mob that was run by the two brothers, they thought they were top of the food chain, right? That they're the shit, they were untouchable. But little did they know that this one person that just happened to be in their area was actually higher than them on the food chain. And I really enjoy that aspect because it keeps people humble, and it keeps you rooting for the good guy, you know? So that was what I enjoyed about the movie the most. And I also really liked the Dr. Enzo.
Yep. He's great.
Probably my favorite character outside of Denzel, obviously. But he was such an intriguing character to me, like the godfather of the town, you know.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Did you have any?
I don't remember the name, but wherever this takes place, fucking beautiful, dude.
I couldn't tell you what the.
I know it's like
name of the. It starts with an A, I think.
Well, I thought it was a P.
It might be a P. It's somewhere in southern Italy.
That it was like Paul something.
I don't know, dude.
Palmetta.
It might be a P. It's a long Italian name that I would probably obliterate while trying to pronounce.
Insane.
It's gorgeous.
It's kind of it's just crazy to me. Like looking at it, I'm like, wow, that's a real place.
Yeah, it's a town like built into a hillside on a coastline.
It's like in the mountain.
They
have church that literally is just on a fucking ridge or something, or a cliffside, but it's not the very top.
And everybody has to take stairs everywhere.
It just looks like the town is just chiseled into the fucking mountain. It's crazy.
Yeah,
and there's a port at the bottom.
It's like it's like the perfect little small town vibe, like fishing town vibe.
Yeah, I mean, if you just wanted to get away from the world, this looks like the place to be. Yeah,
that'd be the place to be, for sure. And ultimately, that's what Robert McCall kind of finds, is that he talks about it in the movie where these people finally showed him what peace can be or look like. And that's what he fought. That's why he fought the mob, because he wanted to maintain that peace and preserve it. Yeah, I really like that. And I also really this did a really good job of handing off the baton as well. I hope they don't really do it, but I could 100% see them continuing the Equalizer franchise on with Dakota Fanning's character.
So I don't agree with this.
You don't like the handoff?
No. Well, it's not really a handoff that we know.
Right.
And if it were to be one, I would really, really hate it.
Really?
This aspect of the movie I think is really, really bad. Only because Like he this looks good on Denzel's character, like Robert, but it doesn't look good for Dakota Fanning's character.
Mm.
She doesn't do anything the whole movie. The only thing she does is what Robert tells her to do or what is. So all she is doing is literally on sometimes verbatim relaying what Robert tells her to her partner, which, you know, ports its way through their fucking whatever system and shit happens. And then she just happens to be, you know, she goes to the places where she's supposed to be because he tells her, like, hey, this might be of interest to you. This might be of interest to you. Don't do this. Watch out for this. But all she does is like relay the information, gets blown up, and sits in a hospital bed. And then the guy's like, hey, the director wants to talk to you. Good job, buddy. So you didn't actually do anything this entire movie. Robert just did it for you. So in his case, makes him look like a really nice guy. I like the message at the end, but it doesn't do anything for Dakota Fanning's character for me in this movie.
Okay. I mean, I could see where you're coming from. I didn't really perceive it that way as I was going through it. I just didn't think about it in that sense. I was I was trying to figure out who the hell she was and why she mattered. And then it dawned on me like halfway through the movie that she's the daughter of I forget her name from the first two movies.
Yeah.
Is it Susan?
I don't know her name.
Shoot, I forget. But then like I just thought it was a cool like that question that she asked, you know, why me? Why did you call me to do this? And I ultimately came up with the answer of that she's the same as him in the fact that like she's not willing to stand by when the little man is getting bullied or whatever. And so he's kind of like grooming her to lean into that character trait. But I can definitely see what you're talking about, that she didn't really do anything like on her own. So you would have liked to see her make some of her own decisions and show some of her own capabilities. Like,
well, as of now, she has none.
Right. But that's what I mean. Is like you would have wanted to see her do some shit on her own. I get that. I get that for sure. I was probably just blinded by other stuff.
Yeah. I mean, all it seemed like was, I mean, all the like questions and stuff and conversations they had, like it's all cool. It leans in the whole mysterious thing because she doesn't know what he knows. But again, it just adds to his character, but not hers. And then at the end of it, like you said, it's kind of meant to be like a kind of a grooming thing, but it's like, what does it matter if you can't do anything? You're just going to go die.
Yeah. If you aren't physically capable.
Like the message is nice because like your mother would be so proud of you, but it's like, yeah, except you didn't do anything. You've just been sitting on a desk, and the only reason you're not is because of Robert. And the only reason you're going to get probably like some kind of fucking promotion or whatever is because of Robert.
Yeah.
And he gave you this black book, but you probably don't know how to use it. So what's the point?
Yeah. I also, one of the things that was a little confusing to me is that she's part of the CIA and she couldn't figure out who the hell he was. Like they just, when you're a retired CIA agent, you're just blacklisted from everything. Like nobody knows who you are.
I mean, some people.
Yeah, but I feel like if she had like put up the chain of command that she's talking to a Robert McCall, that there would have been some like red flags along the way. And be like, uh-oh, you know what I mean? Like,
well, maybe it's like a
Jason Bourne situation.
Jason Bourne, Mission Impossible. Yeah. Only the top knows
who he is. I don't know. That was a little, but
because on top of that, like I don't know how it works with the CIA or whatever, where it's like if you can just be like, hey, who's this person? They just be like, none of your business, classified, above your pay grade, fuck off.
Shut up.
Get back to your desk.
Yeah, go back to work. Go back to your finance desk. Stop talking about people.
You're not a fucking field agent. Shut up.
Yeah.
When's your last desk pop?
Desk pop. Oh man, that movie is so funny. Oh, Dirty Mike and the boys. Well, there's some pretty gruesome death scenes.
Yeah.
What was your favorite method of death that Robert used?
I don't really know if I had like a favorite. They're all pretty cool. I did have an issue with
which one
of
did you
them.
wince at the most?
Oh, none of them.
Okay, but like, all right. That's not what I didn't mean. Like, which one did you? But like, which one was like, whoa, like, damn, that's fucked up, man.
Nothing in this is like that crazy. I mean,
Oh my gosh,
it's all pretty standard stuff.
it's all pretty standard stuff, you know. Just take a freaking corkscrew and send it through a dude's jaw into his face.
You've never seen that before?
not in real life or like normal shit. Like I guess in Saw or something. Sure.
No, that's not even for Saw. That's the way I just mean in an action movie. You've never seen somebody stab somebody with a fucking corkscrew?
Or like what was it, the Stoke thing, like through the dude's throat?
Yeah, that's pretty normal.
It's like that's fucked up, man. Goddamn.
Yeah, I mean it's just a lot of like stabbing and shooting.
Which one did you have an issue with?
It's in the beginning of the very beginning of the movie. The shotgun kill.
Ooh.
It's like the main dude.
Yeah, the farmer dude or whatever.
It's right after the whole 9 seconds to decide your fate thing,
Right.
and he just murks everybody. Well, a second time because you
Yeah.
don't see the first
Dude,
half.
there were so many people in
there's a lot of
that
dead bodies.
winery that he just
But the main boss dude in the beginning, which kind of sets up the whole thing, he finishes him with a shotgun from one of his like henchmen, and there's a hole like that big, but he's like a foot away from the dude, or like 3 feet.
Yeah, there's a little bit of inconsistency there because the first shotgun shot that he shot into the dude's like ass looked like birdshot because it was just like a super big spread that went into his backside.
Yeah,
and it didn't like.
Well,
really
first
do anything
off,
to him.
they do this. This is just again me, but they do this typical Hollywood thing where when you pick up a shotgun, you're required to pump the shotgun, and then a shell gets launched out, and it's like, oh, I just wasted a shell because now it's on the floor.
To be fair, the henchman did shoot the shotgun,
But he probably should have already reloaded the damn thing.
Yeah, but he's an idiot henchman. Who knows?
But still, it's just classic Hollywood. And then on top of that, you're right. The first shot does look something like
and it looked like a sawed off spread too, because even birdshot in a long barrel shotgun, the grouping is pretty tight.
Well, yeah, that's why it's
At
meant
that
to shoot
distance,
birds.
Yeah.
It's very accurate. It's just small pellets so that you
Right.
don't fucking annihilate the body of the bird.
Right.
And then the second shot is like, dude,
It's like a
what the fuck did you shoot him with?
It's like the wad.
Because
the wad,
I don't
like,
I mean
killed
that close, I don't know what would possibly make that small of a hole.
Yeah.
Unless it was like the barrel up against him and it's a fucking slug, but even then it probably would still be a little bit
That would
bigger.
be insane.
But regardless of that, any other fucking load would blow a bigger hole than that, especially in his fucking face. Like,
Yeah.
so I just thought that was
small
fair.
detail.
It is. There was another scene where he, it's the townspeople in the cobblestone square or whatever,
Mhm.
and he's like, "I'm right here.
You
want Denzel?
wanted Denzel?
I'm right here."
Right
And he
here.
comes out and he's got these two pistols, and I know these are different takes because it changes. He holds them up, and then it changes to a different take to swap the point of view. But when he's holding it, one of the
it's
pistols is like
it's like jammed.
stuck back, and it looks jammed.
Yeah.
And I know this is probably just a prop issue because whoever was holding
Probably
it
just
or
had a
whatever.
shitty spring in it.
But I was like, oh, so is it jammed, or they just don't know
They
what's
just
going on?
They just
Like,
didn't catch it. That one they just didn't catch. I guarantee you.
but I was like, okay, whatever. Yeah, super minor thing. But like I said, it changes within the the takes, but
I guarantee you they just didn't catch it because that like it just looked like the return spring was just super worn out because it's a prop.
you could just I know it's just because I know what it looks like that I could see that it was back, and I'm like,
that's actually one of my biggest pet peeves of guns in movies is the slide of a handgun being back unnecessarily. Like there's a lot of movies where the slide will lock back, right? Because for those of you that don't know, on most handguns, when you run out of rounds in your magazine, the slide automatically locks back. And then you have to manually release the slide when you put a fresh mag in, or if you don't, I mean, whatever. But you have to manually release the slide in order for it to go back forward. There are lots of movies out there where the slide locks back and then they continue shooting, or they walk around acting like it's a live gun, but it's really not because the slide is back. And it's like one of my biggest pet peeves of guns in movies, period.
Yeah.
So I catch it every time. Every time I see something like that, I'm like, it's just poor quality control on your gun arts.
Yeah.
Real
minor things, but
it's minor
because it's
most people don't
because it involves this kind of character.
Yeah, you would expect him. Yeah, you would expect him if he had a jam. You would expect him to have cleared the jam.
I know you, Denzel, might not realize it, but your character would. Yeah. So it was this really tiny thing that I noticed. I was like, okay, but real small.
Yeah, we're being nitpicky here, ladies and gentlemen.
The Italian, I don't know what your guys is called. Your like SWAT, counterterrorism unit.
Dude, those guys didn't give a shit.
You're fucking savage, bro.
Dude, those guys walked in.
But I will give you one thing, which this movie does do well, which good job, because you actually had a lot of Italian things, right? You had fucking Italian cars, you had Italian guns.
Except for the Jeep and the Mustang.
Bro, the Jeep, okay, the Mustang is a Mustang, and then the Jeep, why would you delete the fucking grill? It's so disgusting, bro. If you wanted a Land Rover or something, just get that.
Yeah. I thought it was really funny that they had a Jeep Cherokee as one of the cop cars, and then they had a Jeep Wrangler in the front of the mob dude's house with like all the other really nice cars. I was like, one of these things is not like the other.
Yeah, I was like that. Well, yeah, I was like, if you're gonna go luxury,
yeah, like I like Jeeps.
But if you're gonna flaunt your money,
but if I got the money, I'm getting a
fucking
G-Wagon.
Defender, yeah. Like, come on,
like I'm getting a G-Wagon or something. Like
that suits the vibe because it fits the category, but it fits the character a lot better.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean the Mustang, whatever. American, you wanted one American muscle car? Who cares? But yeah, the Jeep. I was like, why would you do that? It's so gross.
Weird. Yeah, it's so random. Yeah. But you're all right. There is a lot. They did a really good job of making Italian things Italian. Like the actors, I thought all the Italian actors did.
I don't
really
know.
Well.
I don't know how savage your fucking police force is, but I can't imagine they're like that.
Those guys are fucking nuts. Like they
they got shit done.
Yeah,
but like there was definitely one excessive use of force.
They talking about the dude in the bathroom.
He got fucking destroyed.
He just was trying to open the door, and the guy's just like,
yeah, dude. Like, dude, I don't know what's our cops get shit on for stuff, but look, that was nuts. That would he didn't know he had a weapon or anything. Like, I get it that it's like, obviously it's a potential threat, but you just straight unloaded like 6 rounds of the dude.
And the dude that they shot before that too, I didn't think he had a gun, did he?
No, he didn't look like he had a weapon.
He just looked like he was getting out of bed.
No. Yeah, and he got shot.
Out of bed, and they're like,
but then the other guys in the next room, they're like, put your hands up. Put your hands up.
They're like, wait, guys,
we had to set an example, right?
Yeah. We can't just kill everyone, guys.
Yeah. But yeah, it was just.
I don't know. Maybe that's just how Italian SWAT are.
I don't know how their SWAT is, but I mean, they got it done.
They're just like, fuck around and find out, bro.
And I don't blame you because the mob was savage too. Granted, I don't understand why they seem like. This was one issue I had of the movie is like the mob doesn't feel like a mob. It just feels like a tiny little gang.
Yeah, it didn't feel super deep seated and super interconnected. You know, like
I know they had like connections with Intel based
Yeah.
people, but it's like you just look like 7 dudes.
Yeah.
And you took over this like town with
their
7 dudes.
Their forces were pretty limited.
And
Well,
you
they were
had
trying to-
this crazy looking mansion, all these cars. Like,
Yeah.
where's your army, bro? Like,
Well, they were also talking about how like soon the entire coastline was going to be there.
right? They're trying to get
And it's like,
boats, and it's
how?
like with 7 dudes.
Like who are you
You about
having
to just
manage?
take over the fucking Navy or Coast Guard, whatever their people are like. I don't know, dude.
Yeah.
But other than that, like those
It's
small
still-
things,
yeah.
it was still a really good movie. Like,
We're being nitpicky,
Yeah.
but after all the small things, in the end, it was still a fun movie. I enjoyed it. I walked out of the theater satisfied with the ending of The Equalizer.
yeah, because I mean, what ultimately matters is Denzel.
Yeah,
He did great.
He found his piece.
He was at peace.
Yeah.
He found his people. He found where he wants to live out the rest of his life. That's great. It was awesome. Action's cool. Effects were good. And
And the story was good enough to serve its purpose.
yeah, it was simple.
Yeah, and I like
That
the
was nice.
simplicity. This is actually, like you've said it before on the channel, this is actually a really good example of doing something that is not necessarily super original or super like like it's not original, right? That we've seen stories like this before, but they did it well, and so because they did it well, it doesn't bother me, or it's not a big issue.
Yeah.
So
It was a great movie.
what did you guys think? Have you guys seen this movie yet, ladies and gentlemen? If you guys did, let us know down in the comments below what you thought of the finale to the Equalizer trilogy. And also, did you guys watch the show? Is it worth watching? I imagine not. Like, I imagine it's
There's
not,
no show.
But
It doesn't exist.
I'd like you guys to let us know if we should watch it. Like, we're telling you, go watch this movie. What should we watch the show? You let us know, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys for being here. If you haven't checked out our earlier episodes from this past weekend, we released a breakdown of episode 3 of Ahsoka. Go check that out. Really appreciate all the love and support, guys. We're closing in on 100 subscribers, and we're super excited to be here and to continue to doing this for you guys. If you guys have any suggestions on what you want to see, as far as what movies or TV shows to cover, let us know down in the comments below. I can tell you that we have something new that's going to be coming to the channel pretty soon. Something a little bit different, still centered around like our movies and stuff, but it's something a little bit different, a little bit new. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. Should be coming later this month or early October, somewhere in there. But we appreciate you guys for being here. Thank you guys. Please like, subscribe, comment, share with a friend. Check out our social media as well as the other shows here on Any Kind Media. And we'll catch you guys in the next episode.
Bye, guys.